Okay, this is the Lorix Security System Extended Review Part 1. Okay, I did one review on the Lorix camera security system, and here's a little bit more information so that you can determine if this is something you're looking into. I have this, this is the output of the DVR directly. This is how you could configure the device initially, and then you could go and use the URL and get to the device as well later after you configure it. Right now I have it on a TV screen that's only a 1080i system. The camera can do 4K, but I didn't want to buy a new TV just for this because this is just something we use occasionally. But you can actually get a 4K camera. I'm sorry, a 4K TV and display the really crisp output of the device directly from the DVR. Okay, this TV is connected to the DVR itself, so I get to configure it. This is where you first configure it, then you can configure other items from other devices like the Wi-Fi on your phone or through like the URL that they give you. So when you log in, you'll get this screen. Now if you hit this, you'll get the live pictures. As you can see, I'm getting some pretty nice pictures here. And this is a 1080 camera. These are the 4K cameras, and the ones inside the garage are 1080. There's my freezer, so I can know if it's ever red or turned off. I can see it every day. So you right click and you go back to main menu, and when you go to get some tech support from Lorix, which is pretty good. As soon as you call them, I got picked up within 2 rings, and they seem to be decent, halfway decent people. So you hit information, and you're going to have to give them your system info, basically your model number here. And so that'll show your model number and all these other items here, what port the URL is on. Right now it's on port 80. Which is HTTP. You could make it 443 if you want to make it secure. IP address and build date and your firmware version. It's pretty nice. Here's your disk drive. Right now we got a 2 terabyte drive. If you ever want to update that drive, I think it's pretty simple. You could put like a larger drive in there and get more storage space. I think it's pretty straightforward, but I haven't looked into it yet. But you can upgrade this drive on your own. And I think it doesn't have operating system information on it. I think it just has videos. So you can actually format it on another screen I'll show you later. This is the resolution of the cameras right now. As you can see, my 7 and 8 are not as high as the other 4K cameras because I bought those cameras aftermarket from Home Depot. And the cameras I bought are in another video, but here's the brand Zozi from Home Depot, $29 cameras. They're 1080 cameras. I'll try to get the serial number, model number here. Let's see. You could probably zoom in on that or something. And those cost $29. That's the 180 degrees. They got 120, they got black, they got white. So at Home Depot, you could get cameras that will work with this system. And it's got 4 different display options on the camera. There's a little push button on each camera that I show in my other videos. Log file tells you how often it's saving images and stuff, that stuff. I don't really use the log information. Alarm status, there was 1 alarm status, a motion detector status. I disable most of the time those things. This one just happened to come through. Network, I guess that tells you how much traffic's going through your network card at a time, and you could actually test it, which I've never done. I don't know why you want to do that. And here you can check for new firmware updates. I have the latest firmware, as you can see, but you can check for new ones, and it's pretty good. you could import or export your configuration settings. What you do is you put a USB stick in the back or a hard drive in the USB port, and it'll show up as a device that you could select here, and then you could format it for the system that it uses a different format system. So you format it first, I would assume, and then you could back up your configuration file so that if you ever screw it up, you can import it back in. So that's a pretty nice feature right there. That should be it for the information tab. Now you right click to get back to this screen, and then you we're going to go to the storage tab now. Let's go to the basic part. Here it shows you that it's going to overwrite the hard drive after when it runs out of space. So it'll continually record till it runs out of space. Then it'll overwrite 30 minutes of the previous recordings starting from the beginning. And you could adjust that in minutes, how many minutes you want to format at a time. Or you could do file size depending on how big the files are. I don't know why you want to do that. Just do the file, the time. Overwrite, or you could actually stop it and it won't record over anything, and then you're going to get alerts and say that your drive's full, so you're going to have to clean it up manually. Here's the hard drive manager. You can see that I got a 2 terabyte drive that can be updated in the future if you want. You can actually do it yourself, I think. If you click on the drive, you could actually format it on the bottom. It takes about 2 seconds to format, and then it'll start back up at 1.79 terabytes again. This is a cool feature. This is where you can actually determine how much space you're going to use on your drive. So if you put like a 2,000 capacity drive, it'll tell you that recording days, you're going to, with my current recording setup, I'll have 6 days worth of recordings. It's probably not going to be that much because it's really $17.99, but if you got a bigger drive, this is where it would come in handy. This requirement, same thing. If you want to store, let's say, 30 minutes of current video, it'll use 30 days of current video. It would take 8 terabytes to actually record that, so that's not going to happen. I think we can only get about 5 days out of this thing. As you can see, we get 1,400, 1.4 terabytes would be 5 days. 6 days may be too much. Well, 6 days, I can basically get 6 days of recording with my current bit rate and my recording features. Right now, I'm not recording camera 7 or 8 because they're in the garage. Now, if you wanted to, you could go to FTP, and you could see that you could upload all your snapshots and your videos to an FTP site, which I don't think is feasible. I would never do it, but you can set it up in here. Also in storage, there's a schedule section, which I must have missed before. And here you can schedule when you want the recordings to occur. Like right now I have continuous on camera 1. I don't have motion or alarm or smart detection. Well, I do have motion and continuous right now. And what you want to do is, like, say camera 1's when you record all the time, you go here to this little knob on the right here on camera 1, and you can see I'm going to record 0 to 24 hours a day continuously and on motion. And you would select all for every day of the week and say okay, and then you go apply, and then you'll get all the recordings every day on that camera. Now let's say we want to go to camera 7, which I'm not recording. As you can see, I have no colors here, which means it's not being recorded at all. I don't want to record 7 or 8. They're the 1080 cameras that are in the garage. There's no reason to record and waste space. So if you go to this gear over here, just like the other one, you can see I'm not recording any of these. This doesn't matter. I can hit all, and it's not going to, and I said okay and apply. So there's no recording going on camera 7 or 8 right now. I'm just trying to save some space right now. So see, there's no recording. You go into this gear to change this stuff. It's kind of misleading that they let you click this stuff here. They should lock that out in their app, but they don't. And this means nothing, so don't even, just ignore this part. So that should be it for storage. All right, when you get the Lorex system, you'll get a mouse, a wired mouse. I hooked up a wireless mouse, a USB one, to my system, it works fine. I put a 15-foot USB cable on a system, and I put the cable into the attic closer to where this TV is. And the reason for that is I want to use the wireless, and it wouldn't reach from where the actual DVR is right now. So you can connect a USB wireless mouse, probably a wireless keyboard at that, to the system and use it. Okay, we could go to networking, and on TCP/IP you set up your IP address. I put a static IP in because if you want to connect to it with your computer, you should have a static IP. You can also do DHCP, but if you do that, then you're gonna have to figure out what IP it gave your device, and that's kind of frustrating. Port number, all the ports that this device uses, some of them are incoming, some are outgoing. You use this in your firewall or in that other screen that we went to last time. DDNS is if you have a domain name, you can actually connect to this for your domain name of your computer. Email address I'm not going to show you because I have my personal stuff in there, but that's where you set up to get alerts and stuff like that to your phone. You set up a Google account. I'll show you in a image shot of what that should look like.